Hello everybody, I am on the road, or about to be on the road, so as you know, this is how we do Saturdays and the Smackdown Reacts, so just trying to get our camera set up going. So here we go, things I like, things I didn't like. I'm going to go a little bit away from the format for a hot second, because I think it's very telling. When you have weeks where Cody Rhodes and John Cena are on shows, or on Smackdown each week, it's glaringly obvious when they're both not on the show. Like, it's glaringly obvious. Cena, you understand, but Cody, you know, the injury angle, you know, keeping him off television for a week, you know, you got to sell the story. That part matters. That part really matters. But, man, I was getting ready to say, like, oh, my goodness, SmackDown looking like the A show here for a second. And then you take away Cody and Cena. A little bit different, right? A little bit different. So, the star power, or lack thereof, blatantly obvious with the show. Now, there's one other glaring issue I want to address, and we will, I guess we'll do it right now. I guess we'll do things I didn't like first, and then stuff I liked. Boy, I'll tell you, the women's division, anybody left? I mean, I'm looking through, and this was my concern. I was thinking about this coming out of SummerSlam. I'm like, well, you know, because WWE is committed to Charlotte and Alexa as a tag team. They're committed to it, as they should. In the women's division on Raw, right now is pretty stacked. You don't want to mess with anything in the NXT women's division at the moment. Looking at SmackDown, it's like, who can you use? So when Jade Cargill is pushing for another rematch, even though she clearly lost, like Tiffany didn't cheat or anything, like Jade clearly lost the match. So when you have that, and then when you have, and then Nia Jax, enter Nia Jax as a picture, like, oh, really, again, with Nia, you know, so you take all of that into account, and I'll have time here to look at you guys here, because prayers, there's a funeral line right now entering the cemetery. So when you look at Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton again in the picture, it's like, dude, come on. But as you look around, it's like, okay, on that roster, who do you have left? I mean, you have Kiana James. You have that angle, like representation, things like that. You know, she's positioned as a manager right now, so it wouldn't make sense for the manager of the Women's United States Champion to face off for a bigger women's title than the one that the person she's representing against, Julia. So, like, okay, that's an issue. You could have Julia face Tiffany, because then I'm wondering, who is Julia facing right now? Like, she hasn't been on television consistently because she doesn't have any contenders. So the SmackDown women's division is in complete flux right now. They're not using Nikki Cross, which I think would be a smart move to use her, but Nikki Cross hasn't even talked on television since this wide angle has started. So I don't know. We presented on our show, Kyle and I, we presented on the show, looks like this is about to come to an end here, using Bayley. The big angle he has is putting Bayley with the Wyatts, which would be interesting. But, and watch the show, because I don't think it's a bad idea the way it was laid out. split personality Bayley, but it adds some necessary single star power to a women's division in SmackDown that really needs it. So watch the show, watch our show, listen to our show, kind of see how we played that out. That was during the Mike Favored promo of the week that we had. So watch that. But even I had the idea, a smaller idea, but I think it would be useful. Like even, Lyra. Lyra and Bayley, they're not talking anymore, so splitting those two up. Like on different shows. And the precedent has been set, and that's my other dislike that kind of lumps into what we were just talking about. I don't envision a whole draft happening for a while again. I think what you're going to see are superstars like, there's a storyline in place, but we need, like a SmackDown storyline, but we need Sami Zayn to be involved with the story. So Sami just shows up one day and Sami Zayn's a SmackDown superstar. And the same thing with LA Knight. Like, we have a plot hole here, so let's just move LA Knight to Raw. I'm not saying it's a horrible idea, but after 20-some years of getting accustomed to a draft, where you just start over from scratch with everybody, and you give a fresh start to everyone, it's uncreative, even if it's the right thing to do. And Sami being on SmackDown, and that alone has some plot holes, because Sami was offered a world title opportunity and turned it down, but he had to go to SmackDown and turned it down, but he went to SmackDown now because he wants a title opportunity, but it's the United States title. It's just, there's some plot holes that we're seeing that we haven't seen in the past under Triple H and booking. So I'm a little worried about little things like that. All right, things I liked. I will say, because of the lack of star power, the SmackDown tag team division, the division that I've criticized all year, most of the year, there's an extra heightened level of importance to the tag team division. I mean, now you're seeing, and this is credit to Solo. This is credit to the MFTs. This is, now that Sami is on SmackDown now, all of a sudden you're going to see top names, a greater focus of the SmackDown tag team division. So that's huge. And also the continuing story of Miz and Carmelo Hayes. Miz clearly latching on to a young prospect and Melo's not cool, but is not strong enough yet to stand up for himself, because he wants the United States Championship opportunity. But Miz jumps in. Instead you're going to get a tag team opportunity. See how this gas station is packed almost. Okay, here we go. This gas station is packed almost all the time, because it's the cheapest one, but it's quality gas. So I'll pause here. But yeah, I like the focus there with the tag team division and also with the United States picture. I think Drew McIntyre had a great night. I would say Drew McIntyre will be up for next week's promo of the week with him explaining that he was just provoked. And he laid it out. That's the scariest thing about a bad guy is when the bad guy is logical and right, and you still hate his guts, him or her. That's the scariest thing. All right. Look, there was some people are going to say SmackDown was terrible. SmackDown was not terrible. There were some good things if you watch, but yeah, I mean, Cody wasn't there and Cena wasn't there. So, and then the women's division needs help. So you do have that. But overall, pretty solid 2 hours of wrestling. Main event was great. Things moved and all that stuff. All right. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy W Energy. That's how, you can enjoy your weekend. That, no sugar, no artificial flavors, things like that. You'll be in great shape and all that. And thank you guys for sticking with us. I know we missed some videos this week. Thank you for sticking with us. Wrestling's a cool thing. It really is. And to be able to talk about wrestling is fun. It's fun. We enjoy doing this. Kyle and I, and Pete, our entire team, we enjoy doing this. All right. I got to pump gas now. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you after Monday Night Raw.